I'm good.
Yeah, I'm ready to go
Hello,
whenever you
everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Twigs and Rigs. I am Jacob Golpali, joined as always by.
Zach Rosen.
and the other Jacob here again.
And today we've got a good show here today. We are going to be talking about trade deadline acquisitions for many teams, just kind of giving our view on the different trades, as well as some signings. So, or extensions, I should say. So, we'll have Zach kick it off here.
Yeah, let's dive into it immediately. I guess like the first deal of like a deadline week, because like it was really just for like 6 days before the deadline. It was the Rangers and the Avs. Avs got Ryan Lindgren, Jimmy Vesey, and Hank Kempf for Calvin DeHaan, Yusel Parson, a conditional 25-second, a conditional 25 fourth. And it's really just the condition on the second is the Rangers receive the better of their own and the Hurricanes second, and they get the better of the Canucks and Avs fourth, and Rangers retain 50% of Lindgren. Lindgren has been bad this year. That's, I guess, the nicest way of putting it. If there were Rangers fans here, they'd probably have a lot more words for Ryan Lindgren. I still don't think he's been great as an Av. He's been better, but I mean, dude, the floor was
The floor was really low. I think his numbers have been better with the Avs, though.
I mean, going from good team to mid team, yeah. I mean, he's on the second pair now with Sam Malinsky. They're dealing with injuries. Josh Manson's hurt.
Yeah.
Eric Johnson's basically, I mean, is he in, is he out pretty much every day? He's their seventh defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get into that because that was just basically Eric Johnson for a conditional seventh. Good on Danny Briere for doing that. I respect the hell out of that. But it's a nice thing for Briere to do, just send him back to where he probably wants to be. But, I mean, Ryan Lindgren's just not good. I mean, he's up for a contract at the end of the year. I mean, Jimmy Vesey's a good defensive forward. I don't know where he's playing.
I think Vesey's on their fourth line.
I think he might just be scratched.
He might be. I know at one point
he's not injured. Oh, he's not injured. He's just scratched. Okay. So, but I mean, I'd rather play. Actually, no, he actually really doesn't actually have a spot in that lineup. Wow. Well, it's either him or Parker Kelly. Wow. But I mean, Yusel Parsonen, he had a good first year, kind of stagnated. He has a lot of skill. So.
Yeah, I mean, good on the Rangers, I guess. All it really shows you is that defensive defenseman, you can kind of just trade whenever. Even when they're playing really badly, you can still get a second.
Yeah. Which, I mean, getting a second.
Parsons kind of just whatever.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, I forgot it was Calvin DeHaan as well. Calvin DeHaan's just a good bottom pairing defenseman.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's doing with New York. I have not heard his name basically once since the trade.
He's good analytically.
He's played 3 games, so
he's been around a while. Like I looked at his career like a week ago. I was like, oh wow, he's been around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been on a lot of teams since the Islanders. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll get more into the Avs later. Moving on, later that day, it was Gus Nyquist, I think half retained for a 26-second. Nyquist has kind of fallen back to where he's always been in his career for the most part, and he's old, and he's a pending UFA. Add something. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Wild's deadline, in all honesty. But, like, again, I'll get more into that later, but I mean, he's old. They're banged up to hell right now. I mean, I watched them the other night when they played Dallas. They had a good first, and the wheels fell off.
Yeah, I think being down, like, clearly their superstar with Kaprizov, and then even Eriksson Ek, and I don't know how the rest of their team's doing, but I feel like they've kind of got like, Boldy's been great.
Boldy,
Rossi's
Rossi,
taken a huge step.
Yeah, it's Boldy, Rossi, and a bunch, and everyone else. Faber's analytics are not good.
Faber's kind of taken a step back. You probably want a bit more out of Hartman and Foligno. Rossi's taken a huge step. But Boldy's been great. Faber's kind of taken a step back. You probably want a bit more out of Hartman and Foligno. Faber's kind of taken a step back. You probably want a bit more out of Hartman and Foligno. Yeah, they made that big trade for Juracek that hasn't. I guess it was more of a trade for the future, but
He's been up and down for them. He has not been good in the A, or with Iowa at least.
They're kind of stuck with that dead cap that I respect going for it, but I think they've made quite a few trades at the deadline that were very head turning.
We'll get into the other one later.
I'm just blown away.
They're out. By the way, they're off that big chunk of the dead cap after the year.
After this year, but Nyquist is such a funny player. Year in Columbus, okay, 53 and 82, and then he had 22 and 48. Okay,
he had like 75 last year.
75 last year, and it's like okay, that's pretty good. And then this year, immediately back 20.
He's 30, 34, 35, like
35. Yeah, I mean, and that Nashville team was just so bad. No one can finish anything. But even in Minnesota, just 2 assists, no goals. So, hey, if they make the playoffs and he does anything, it's a.
He didn't last time. You know what? You know who they played in the first round the last time Nyquist was there?
Dallas.
I don't know, but he had 5 assists.
Dallas.
Game, so.
He was actually pretty good. Yeah, he played Dallas last time. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was Kaprizov who ghosted that series, right? But yeah, next deal. One of the first big ones. Seth Jones and a 26th fourth to the Florida Panthers, 26% retained, which brings his cap hit down to around $7 million. For Spencer Knight and a conditional 26th first. I forget what the condition on that pick was, but I think it was if they traded it. So
I think it was. It could be a 27 first. It was kind of like Vegas's one last year with where they got to trade. They had the option to keep it or trade it or whatever, but
I thought that was going to signal that
they would do something big, and I guess they still did.
Didn't, yeah, but they didn't really trade it. Actually, no, it's a condition. It's a condition. So
yeah,
but I mean, I'll speak on Spencer Knight first. He's been good. I mean, he's flashed a lot. That first game he had with Chicago, oh my god,
he looked fantastic.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be their goalie of the future. He's looked fine in Chicago. I mean, it's tough to be a good goalie in that situation.
It's tough to be a good goalie on a bad team. So the fact that he has a 903, which is only 4 points under his 907 with Florida, he's looked more than capable of being a starter.
And
plus, he gives them a nice tandem. You know what? Him and Soderblom, and they got
eventually Comesso and Guyon.
Yeah, that last guy is definitely a real person. But at least they have 2 young goalies now. They got a really young team. It's kind of like when San Jose got Askarov, except instead of paying a first to get Knight, they just got to get rid of an atrocious contract and they got a first.
They didn't really have any goalie prospects, to be fair then. But yeah, true. I mean, looking at it from the Florida side, when it got reported first, it was like Chicago wants NHL ready young guys. I was like, okay, Sam Moskevich is definitely in this. Which I respect Florida for not giving him up. They need cheap forwards as they're going to keep contending. They need cheap guys. Sam Moskevich has improved as the years went on.
He's looked great as of recent, to be honest. He's looked strong and confident.
You get Seth Jones, who potentially, if Ekblad walks, you have that kind of backup plan if he walks.
Yeah, the hard part with this trade is getting him to be behind Ekblad and Forsling is great. Him being your third, I know, but if Ekblad walks and he becomes your number 1D with Forsling, it's kind of just like, I don't think he's that. Maybe for $7 million, it's not a big thing, but I just feel like that's such a dip down to lose Ekblad and not have.
I think Seth Jones is a top pairing defenseman.
Maybe with Forsling he can be. He has looked rough in Florida. He has not looked like he's fit in very well, but
maybe it'll take time. I mean,
sometimes
once he gets to full camp and all that, but you're going for a cup, you need him to be a rock. Because how long is Ekblad's out? How long is Ekblad's injury right now?
I have no idea.
Because I mean, that's the thing with Ekblad too. He's always been, oh right, it was not an injury. It was a suspension.
So he'll be back in the first round.
He'll
I
be
forgot
back
about
at.
that.
He'll be back in
Yep.
game. He'll be back for game 3. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, it's Kachuk that's hurt right now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. Holy fuck. But I mean, look. I mean, their defensive depth. I mean, right? Look. I mean, their bottom pair is Nate Schmidt, who I think has actually been solid this year for them.
Yeah.
And Tobias Bjornfoot.
Forsling, Ekblad, when all healthy, you got Mikola, Schmidt.
You'll have
Kulikov,
Seth Jones essentially carry.
Jones.
You'll have Seth Jones kind of carrying that second pair. I
Yeah.
mean, not saying Mikola is bad. He's not terrible.
Yeah. I mean,
Jones
they
is a
won't have
great
to.
second pairing guy, though.
He
Yeah,
is.
they won't have to play Bjornfot when they're healthy. So I think that's a win. They also had to do something. They took a flyer on Boakfist potentially being that power play guy because
They got waived.
just isn't him, and he did not work out there.
And they got waived. He's been solid for the Isles. So.
Well, good for him. I'm glad he still has a career, but it just didn't work in Florida. So they had to take a shot. And when you're winning, it doesn't matter.
And
So-
especially with Florida, with how they've
Yeah.
kind of revived some demons' careers, Gustav Forsling, Zoe Els, like
Yeah, it happens for sure.
again, maybe once he gets to full camp.
Yeah, and when you're a team like we're going to see with a lot of other teams in this, like Tampa, Colorado, Toronto, when you have a chance to win or repeat, you go for it. You know,
Mhm.
if Jones was the best defenseman available
Which he was.
for what you needed, like you could argue that like maybe Brandon Carlo might have fit some teams better than Jones did, but Carlo is not an offensive defenseman, and they clearly wanted someone to be the power play guy. instead
Eric
of having-
Carlson was available.
I don't know if they could have made that work. That would have been tough.
I don't know. I mean, you
He
retained
just
like
said he was
2
willing to trade him in an instant.
LTI. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean,
That would have been
with
interesting.
Kachuk, I'm just saying with Kachuk LTIR, they could have retained like 3
Yeah.
mil.
It would have been interesting to see. I think his contract's a little too big.
It
But
is.
if you could have swung Carlson, it would have been way better because that's perfect for your second
Yep.
pair. But
and you have that
for what
foil
was
to
actually
Mikola.
feasible, this is probably the best they could
Yeah.
do. And you know what? You
And
have
there's still-
Bobrovsky, just re-sign him now. It
And-
makes things clearer instead of having to carry around 14 million in goaltending money for two guys that
And
both weren't over 9.
Seth Jones is like what 29, like
Yeah.
so he's in his prime.
No, he's
Not
30
really.
now.
Oh,
Good
and still in his prime.
Now he's too old now. As soon as you have 3 in front of it, you should retire.
All right, next. Next up, March 4th, Trent Frederick, Max Jones, Peter Hauser, no whatever, to the Oilers for Max Wayner, a 25 second and 26 fourth. Frederick did struggle a bit, at least to begin the year in Boston. I mean, he's a good ad. I don't think he's made his debut yet.
No, he's still hurt.
Yeah. So we
This
don't
is a
know
trade
what-
for the
so don't really
playoffs. You know what?
know- Yeah.
Edmonton last year, when McDavid and Draisaitl didn't do anything, they really got exposed, especially against Florida. So to get anything for the bottom 6 that isn't, who did they get last year from Anaheim? Adam Henry.
Henry, who has not done much
Yep.
this year.
Yeah, so to do
They're-
doing something like that, I can at least respect.
Is
and
it a
it's
hot
pretty
take to say that they're kind of missing Ryan McLeod a bit?
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely,
they're
especially with how
definitely-
McLeod's played.
Yeah,
He's
because
been unbelievable.
he was a big key. He was
Yeah.
a big key part of that PK. Can win
No.
draws. He's fast as fuck.
Losing McLeod and losing, especially if they had just kept McLeod, Holloway, and Broberg, they would not have had to have made half the
Oh,
trades they made.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
So a very inept management there, but
Stand
is
by
what it
for
is.
ya.
Jones is
they-
kind of whatever. I know a lot of Edmonton fans were really pissed off about giving up Max Wayner.
I don't know much
I
about
just
Max
don't
Wayner.
really see anything there, man. He looks like if he hits, he's just like a guy.
I don't know much about Max Wayner.
He's 22 defenseman. He was never really done anything. He had 2 points in 22 AHL games this year. I don't know, man.
This is pretty much a bottom.
He's a
pairing
7th round pick.
So
Like,
this
I
is
think
pretty
some
much a
fans
bottom
just-
pairing defensive
Yeah.
defenseman. Or
It's essentially Frederick for a second. And you know what?
and Max Jones. I mean, he's physical.
Yeah, Jones would be a nice guy to rotate in and out of the lineup when you
He's not
get in
bad.
the playoffs, but he's
I know. Yeah, Trent Frederick was always going to go for a lot because he's a guy teams like. He's a guy playoff teams really want. So I'd expect his scoring to potentially go up. He'll probably play on the second line. I mean, it's better than playing Kasperi, Kapanen, and actually no, it's because McDavid and Draisaitl are out. So he'll probably slot in somewhere in the middle six. I mean, it's better than playing Kasperi, Kapanen in the middle 6.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Skinner really has not worked out for them. I'm glad he'll play playoff games for once.
Imagine they just sit him the whole time.
He'll play.
I would cackle so hard.
Now it'll be Ristolainen with the most games.
Let's
played
go from one Sabre legend to another.
Tradition. Moving on. Excuse me. The day before, no, this was not the day before deadline day. My bad. So we move on to the Panthers again. They have to do something about the backup goaltending. I mean, Vitek Vanacek for Patrick Gillies. I mean, I don't know if Vanacek's done, actually.
He's got an 0897.
Sounds like Vanacek. Okay.
Yeah.
He had a shutout his first game. So, good for him. Look, it's a 1-year deal. I think he's on a 1 year, so.
Listen, when you get to the playoffs and you have Bobrovsky, he's going to start every game. So they really don't need a backup. And if he gets hurt, they're fucked anyway. So
let me just lump these together since they also made another trade together. Nico Sturm and a 7th for a 4th. I mean, good face-off guy, big. Apparently, he's pretty solid.
Again, they saw a need. They needed a 4th liner to win face-offs, and they got one.
He's got the best face-off percentage in the league. It's like 60-something right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, Windstraw's a big guy, German. So, and Patrick Gillies, I think, has actually been playing for San Jose, mainly because that team.
I think anyone could play for San Jose right now.
Needs bodies. No, he's actually not in. They called up Cameron Lund today.
He did play 6 games though, 1 goal.
Cameron Lund will be playing though, so they're also playing Cagnoni, and I like Cagnoni. I like Cags. So, moving on to our second big one. Oh boy, where do I start this one? To Seattle, Mikey Isamont, a 25 second, a 26 first, a 27 first. None of these are conditional.
Are you sure? Oh, the one I'm looking at says conditional first and conditional first.
Oh, my bad. I was just looking at TSN and they didn't say that for some reason. So whatever.
I'm a huge fan of Isamont. I'm not gonna lie.
Oliver Bjorkstrand, Yanni Gord, and 26 fifth. I haven't heard much about Bjorkstrand in all honesty. Maybe that's a bad thing. I'm already pulling it up. And Yanni Gord, I mean, that's just a fun reunion. I mean,
Bjorkstrand's got 3 and 10. His only goal, funny enough, came against the Sabres. So
Yanni Gord. I mean, Yanni Gord. First off, Yanni Gord, energy guy, great playoff guy, feisty.
Mm-hmm.
Fits again. He's been there. He knows the system, knows the players.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll fit in well. Obviously,
in Philly, he looked pretty strong. Honestly, it looked like he never left. Like he was.
He has 6 assists in 10 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what Tampa needs. I mean, when you look at their point scorers, and it's Nikita Kucherov 101, Hagel 79, Point 69, Gensel 68, Cirelli 52, Nick Paul 39, and then it drops. The next forward is Mitchell Chaffee 17. So it adds 2 legitimate middle sixers.
The goat, Emil Martinson Lilleberg.
Oh yeah, 17 assists, no goals, and he can't defend for shit. My goat. But it gives them 2 actual middle sixers that, like, hey, listen, this screams of, like, Bjorkstrand not fitting in, and then in the playoffs, he's going to score 2 huge goals to knock out the Leafs.
Oh, my God.
Probably.
It's, it's what Tampa needed. Again, back to the point, first-round picks don't matter when you're going for the Cup. Whoever Tampa would have drafted in the next 2 years don't matter.
I mean, fucking what Frenchie... Fuck, what's his name? Why am I blanking on their GM's name? Fuck. But he basically said that first rounds right now don't matter to them.
Fuck, what's his name?
Yeah.
Mort yells at him so much.
Brisebois. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of Oliver Bjorkstrand's game. I love Oliver Bjorkstrand. I would have loved him in Dallas. And he's under contract for next year as well.
That's a big thing too. So
they need these kind of forwards that they don't have to pay right now. Like that's why they or just cheap forwards like a Zemgus fucking Gergensons.
Well, yeah, that's the big thing. It gets guys like Cam Atkinson and Gergensons not playing. Their
Cam
top
Atkinson
6.
got waived, dude.
Oh, he's still.
gone.
Oh, is he gone? Because it's still.
He got
showing
waived.
on
He
their
got
team.
waived. I'm pretty sure he got waived.
He didn't get claimed,
Yeah,
so he's still
in-
technically
he's-
a Bolt.
yeah. But he's
But,
probably in Syracuse. And I mean, from what I've heard, apparently Gage Gonsalves has been on fire
He's
some
looked
reason.
really good.
13
Yeah.
points in 49 games. Yeah, it's
recently,
He
at
looks
least.
like a Yanni
Yeah.
Gord type of player.
Oh,
How old is
great! Great. Just what they need another one.
24. Yeah, he's at the perfect time to come out of nowhere and just be decent for Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, and Isamon. I mean, he's a good bottom sixer. He is.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna miss probably having him, but for the acquisition cost, I don't think they're gonna.
They need it, and Yanni Neiman's come up for them and has looked really good. So
Oh, Seattle! I was like, who
Yeah,
the fuck is
Seattle.
that on Tampa?
yeah, Yanni Neiman, Finnish guy. And I mean, 3 points in 10 games, like that's really not bad for Mikey Isamon. And he's only 28. He's not old. So, and I mean, he's playing on their fourth line with Ty Cartier, and they hit. So
Yeah.
it's not bad, honestly. And I mean, Seattle need to do this. Like you can't. Being in the middle is the worst place to be in sports. And
yeah,
you
they had
need-
just a whole bunch of middle 6 guys that they had to get rid of. So
Yeah, and you need to do this. Just retool, maybe see what you can do in the offseason if you're going to do something big again. Because let's be real here. You look at their roster, they don't have many shooters. They need a sniper really bad. So maybe you get that in the offseason. You need someone who can actually shoot the puck.
no,
So, like, it's just a bunch of playmakers. And Chandler Stevenson has worked out terribly.
wow, who could have seen that coming?
Eh.
Both of
Uh,
the contracts were brutal.
Yeah. I'll lump these two together. Vinny Darnay to San Jose for a 28 fifth. Oh, wait, no, that fifth wasn't used. Never mind. I thought that was used. That's why I was going to lump it
Yeah,
together. That's awesome.
I'm kind of curious.
Bald. That's all I got to say about Vinny Darnay.
Oh wait, so
Bald.
I'm confused why San Jose gave up a 5th for him.
Bald
like-
veteran presence.
Yeah, I guess he just replaces CC. I don't know, but
And then the other Pens trade, which everyone was very confused about, Tommy Novak and Luke Shen to Pittsburgh for Michael Bunting and a 26 fourth. Luke Shen eventually got flipped to Winnipeg
for a second.
for a second, which I will never understand.
So
And I like
essen-
Novak, so I was not even upset about it.
So essentially, it's Bunting in a 4th for Novak in a 2nd.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just a huge Pittsburgh dub. I don't know.
It's
Yeah, I mean,
ridiculous. I don't know
it is.
how we flipped that. Right.
You essentially turned Gensel into Novak, 2
Koivunen.
seconds, and 3 prospects,
Koivunen's looked insane.
Koivunen, Ponomarev,
and Lucius.
Lucius, yes.
Lucius, yes.
Yeah, so
And
3 3
Koivunen
prospects,
has looked awesome.
3 prospects, Novak
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Novak in 2 seconds.
Yeah. It was
I don't know, man.
unbelievable.
It just and you can still move Novak for something, or you can flip the prospects for stuff. You now have 6 assets for a guy who was in Carolina for like a month.
And I think it was we got Tanner Howard Brunick with the
Yeah,
With
it was.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those 2.
And I mean, Brunick almost made the Pens out of camp. So.
right. So
Bunting, Bunting's been back. He actually has looked pretty good for Nashville. I mean, he's a good player. So
Bunting was weird because he looked really good for Pittsburgh right after the trade too last year, and then this year he just didn't look as good.
he was probably the biggest reason we made that push at the end of last season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 19
Scoring at a great
won
rate.
last year right after the trade, and then this year 29 to 58.
Huge
he's a good
spark.
player. Hits, can get to the dirty areas. What teams like? I don't know what Barry Trotz is doing. He's mashing buttons.
Barry Trotz is just a confusing person.
Yeah.
How does Bunting have any term left, or is he a free agent?
Yeah, he's got term.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
So same with Novak. So
Mm.
this was what was this on deadline? No, it was not. Then the next trade, Brian Dumoulin, 50% retained for Herman Traff and a conditional 25 second that will either be Edmonton's or Winnipeg's. whichever is the earliest one.
That would have been a sick trade 6 years ago.
Yeah,
that's what I
again,
basically
don't
see. That's
understand
I
what New
saw.
Jersey's doing. I guess they have so many injuries they thought, but this is the year, especially once you knew Hamilton and Hughes were hurt, to just not do anything.
I don't know much about Herman Traff. I'm gonna be honest. He's 19.
I think he's going to be solid.
3rd round pick.
He's 19, right wing.
Yeah,
it's not bad. Yeah,
doesn't put up a ton of points.
Probably bottom sixer. He's big, 6'2", 198.
Yep.
So yeah, he could be
boy.
something. He could be
He
something.
can move.
Yeah. Well, apparently he's 6'3". Oh.
Yeah, he can move.
So
Yeah,
he can definitely be something. And he was second.
Good for Anaheim for getting an asset for Dumoulin, because
like getting a second. Like, dude, I wouldn't have paid that.
Did they get Dumoulin from Seattle?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did they give up for him?
God,
Is it a 3rd?
Brian Dumoulin to
like he got-
Anaheim trade.
It might have been a signing. I thought it was a trade.
No, it was definitely a trade.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, I remember it was definitely a trade. Where is it? Traded from Anaheim? No. Trade from Anaheim? No. Traded to Ducks. Where is it?
With the year remaining, Dumoulin was traded just after one season with the Crack in exchange for a 4th round pick. So
it's not bad business.
Anaheim got him basically as a cap dump for a 4th and turned him into a 2nd.
And then solid prospect,
a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, like that's not bad business at all.
Listen, when you're a bad team with cap space, that's what you're supposed to do, is take flyers on these guys, and if they work out, you flip them.
Yeah,
I don't know how many times we see bad teams not do it, but Anaheim and San Jose this year have done it to perfection with some players.
Yeah.
We're going to get to one of them that I'm just saying it right now. Steve Yzerman, you're a stupid fucking idiot.
Yeah. No, moving on.
Another goalie trade.
No, it's not that.
Oh, you're not going to talk
I'm on the TSN trade tracker.
Okay, so which one's next?
Riley Smith.
Oh, okay.
Riley Smith back to Vegas, 50% retained for Brendan Brisson and a 25 third.
I'm not gonna lie. I forgot Riley Smith was traded.
I'm lumping
back.
this together because this and then that third was eventually moved for Carson Soucy to Vancouver. So Soucy's good. His analytics have been poor this year because it's Vancouver this year. But he's a good defensive defenseman, usually a second pair quality guy. That's pretty much all I got to say about Carson Soucy, and apparently he's looked pretty good in New York. So, I mean, Brisson, man, the luster's worn off on him. Good Lord, he is not that good anymore, man. Former first. Vegas only has one first-round pick remaining now. Shocker. It's Trevor Connolly. But, I mean, Riley Smith, reunion there. He won a cup there, knows the system.
Yeah, he has 3 points in 10 games.
He's going to be playing in a pretty reduced role because he's not the same guy anymore. I said this about him before. Good penalty killer. Good defensive guy.
His career is so funny, man.
Oh, Ryan Donato scored, by the way.
Riley Smith was in the Tyler Seguin trade to Boston, and then he went
Stars legend.
Then he went to Florida, and then he went to Vegas in the expansion draft, and then he went to Pittsburgh, then to the Rangers, and then back to Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, look, solid player throughout his career, man.
Yeah, 908 games, 545 points. Can't scoff at that career.
If I had to guess, he's gonna retire tonight. I mean, he'll probably take a cheap deal to come back next year.
He's only 33. He's definitely coming back.
Oh, he's only 33? Oh, my God. I thought he was older. Good Lord. Yeah, I mean, he's playing on the second unit. He helps. He usually stays healthy for the most part. Not a bad player by any means. Obviously getting up there in age, but yeah. Moving on. Probably one of the deals I just don't like the most.
Is this the Minnesota one?
Yeah,
I don't get this one at all.
Justin Brazeau, who has not been good, for Murad Husnadiov and a 26-6. Apparently, Murat Husnudiyev's looked pretty good. He's now playing on the first line in Boston right now. He has skill. I don't know really what his ceiling is. Probably middle six or top six. He's got skill. He's very good defensively. He's been one of the worst offensive forwards analytically this year. He can win draws. I know he's playing the wing right now, but look, he can win draws. He can have skill.
He's only 22. I know 2 goals, 5 assists, 57 games. Doesn't look good, but like I don't feel like Justin Brazeau. I mean, 20 points in 57 games, 10 and 10. I don't.
It was
know,
a cool
man.
story.
Like, it was, but also, I feel like they just saw he's 6'6".
He's 6.
And they were like, okay, fuck it.
Yeah, and he's been playing on their fourth line.
Yeah, I don't know. This one just very confusing to me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Minnesota does have a bunch of the same kind of prospects, though. Did you really need to keep Kuznetsov when you have Ogren and all that coming? Probably not. So
Beal might expect to sign. I think would sign after the year.
It's not the worst, but I will give Boston props for bringing back Jacob Lauko.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot he was in this trade. Yeah. He's actually been pretty good as a fourth liner this year. So that just fucks the trade even more. The next big boy trade. The next one.
Big boy trade. It's
yes.
Nelson.
Okay. Yeah. Brock Nelson and William Dufour to Colorado for Oliver Shillington, Callum Ritchie, a 26 first, a 28 third. I forget if that first is conditional. I think it is.
First round pick in 2026 or 2027, it says.
Thank you. And then Shillington got flipped to Anaheim for future considerations.
Yeah. So basically,
Callum, I'm
Ritchie
a big fan
first
of I'm big fan of Callum Ritchie. He's very good. Very, 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 very good.
I think he'll mesh better with Islanders the way they play rather than Colorado.
Yeah,
I think it'll be better.
He'll probably be on Long Island next year. I mean,
yeah, he did play 7 games in Colorado this year, so he probably should make the team. Did have a slight regression, 10 less points
but that's also like missing some of the games.
Only in 3 less games.
Nelson has 7 points in 9 games so far. He's been good.
I'm going to be honest, a lot of the guys Colorado have picked up have actually kind of fit in pretty fast, so I got to give them props somehow.
I don't want to give him props. I'm not going.
Well, you don't have to, but just because your guy doesn't fit it very fast doesn't mean that.
But I mean, Callum Ritchie's good. Getting a first is very good, and especially like the Islanders still could potentially lower to a top 10 pick in this draft. I don't know if it happens. Speaking of, Islanders just scored.
If you win this game, you're back in the playoffs. So.
Islanders just scored. Casey's was it Zekas or JG? But look, they needed to offload. At least I thought they'd move Palmieri. Apparently, they want to extend him. And that's a Lou for you.
Well, he did try to extend fucking
Nelson
before
but
this.
He wants like
anything's possible.
But Nelson wants like 5 years. So
what is going on? Why is the score app so bad the last 2 days?
Oh, it's Zizekas, not Petrov.
Zizekas scored, and the Devils are winning 3-2.
Oh, that was 3-3.
Andre Palat scored shorthanded. Why is it not telling me this?
But yeah, Nelson's fit in pretty well. I mean, William Dufour was the Isles' former top prospect in the past.
You know how sad that is?
Tells you how bad their prospect pool was. Having Ritchie, Cole Yzerman, and whoever you get from this draft, that's pretty solid, honestly. Like, they can get like a lack of it, sure, whatever. I mean, that's pretty solid. So it's not bad. Ignore what Frank Cervalli says about Callum Ritchie, but
I mean, yeah. I think Callum Ritchie's probably going to be like a second liner, which is nice. But...
low end first, high end second liner. If I had to guess.
What's the next trade?
Wallman.
What the fuck, man? Why are you ignoring Chris Drieger for Capo Kakinen? That's groundbreaking.
Yeah. Next up, Jake Wallman to Edmonton for Carl Berglund, and I forget what the condition on the 26th first is.
Probably the same thing that all the conditions have been.
I thought it was Cup, but Cup final or not, but whatever. I don't know how he's fit in so far. I really haven't heard much about him. But I mean, I thought Wallman would stay. I thought he'd be a guy San Jose keeps.
I mean, when you get a guy for free for a second and then a team offers you a first for him, I think it's an
Four
easy slam
assists,
dunk to do it.
four assists in a game so far. He's playing on their second pair with Darnell Nurse. Have fun, buddy.
Carl Berglund is a 25-year-old undrafted.
Yeah,
free agent.
he's probably going back to Europe.
Yeah, he's just the body in this trade. So it's basically a conditional first for Wallman. I think it's a good trade for both teams. I think Wallman's fit in decently in Edmonton.
Better offensively and defensively.
He looked strong.
Yeah, solidifies their back end, which they had to do. Again, if you just kept Broberg, you wouldn't have had to trade a first for him. But hey, I'm not a GM. Yeah. Again, tidy little business though. A team that got a guy, they got the second to take him, and they got a first to flip him. So you know what?
Great asset.
Can't scoff at that. Again, Detroit does not know what they're doing.
I mean, it's fantastic asset management from Yzerman. So
speaking of fantastic asset management,
from Greer.
Yeah, from Greer. I'm just gonna skip past this. How the hell did Pittsburgh get a second for Anthony Beauvillier?
Dude, blessed.
I thought it was like a 7th.
Blessed beyond belief.
And speaking of Washington, they extended Jacob Chikrin 8 years, $9 million AAV for something of a human. Let's just say that.
What? Beauvillier went from being one of the guys in the Horvat trade to being dumped with Mikheyev to Chicago to being so bad in Chicago they dumped him to Nashville, and Washington gave up a second for him. Yeah,
I don't know how many games he's played, and then, again,
he has 4 points in 8 games with Washington, so he hasn't been terrible. But
okay, what the fuck?
What the hell?
And then now we get into the Chikrin contract, 8 years, $9 million AAV for. Man, what a human he is. Good Lord.
Oh, God. He ain't seeing the last half of that contract. The worms are taking over.
He is a human. Yeah, have fun in your candlelit house, buddy.
And
apparently he's also on the Liver King diet thing. So
he eats raw liver. He eats unpasteurized milk.
At least it's not steroids.
At least it's not PEDs. He is from
looking
Florida.
At you, Liver King.
He is from. Well, I was talking about Ekblad. He is from Florida though, so Ekblad might.
But I mean, Chikrin. I mean, analytically, he has been bad. His microstats offensively are pretty good. But
yeah, that whole Washington team is kind of an anomaly. That he has 18 goals this year. I think it's like a career high shooting percentage. Like half of the team right now. Yeah.
He's awesome offensively. I will say that.
Offensively, when he's allowed to play his game, absolutely. 44 and 66, it doesn't matter. You can't scoff at that. But $9 million, if he I don't know what Washington's really doing. I'm very curious to see because Obi's coming to the end. They got some guys there like Wilson but they got some really nice young guys. I'm I don't know what this team is doing.
They have a really good prospect pool in our
They do.
Crystal, Protus, Leonard, Hudson.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious what
Moogly.
What the transition's going to be at post.
They still have Lapierre and Miroshnichenko.
Yep.
They've kind of fallen to the wayside. They don't have a goalie for the future, but I mean, when you extend Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren, you don't have to worry about that at all.
No, yeah. And then Strom's looked great.
You still have Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's 26 still.
And
Alexei Protas is 23.
Yep.
Yeah.
He looks older.
He looks a lot older, but
he's younger. Yeah. He's younger than McMichael.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
So they are very well set.
And they have Vincent Iorio to be their bottom pairing defenseman. Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Right now, I mean, if you had to ask me who my GM of the year is, it's probably Chris Patrick.
Yep.
So, I mean, Nil has a case, but it's Chris Patrick. This Caps team is so good.
Yeah, they are first in the NHL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First or second, but with how he assembled this team in the offseason, they're a good team, man. I wanted Chikrin so bad in Dallas, but with that price, kind of makes me rethink things.
Underrated. What the fuck happened to Andrew Mangiapane, man? He's got 26
Bad.
points in 7
He's
Bad.
games.
been really
Caps,
bad.
Caps fans hate him too. Don't worry.
Dude,
Yeah.
he had 35
Dude,
goals one year.
Dude,
What happened?
if I had to guess, he'll probably be the scratch when Leonard signs
What
this
the
year.
fuck? That dude, his career trajectory is so
Yeah.
hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
Oh,
Good
bro,
for him.
if I had to guess, he's the scratch when Ryan Leonard signs,
Probably.
which it's fully expected he's signing after his season ends.
He probably should. I don't think another year in college. is
And
gonna benefit him.
apparently, I saw a tweet that he might make, if everything, say like they lose early, he might make his debut like in the game that OV ties it. So that'd be pretty cool. Ties the record, so that'd be sick. And I'm a big Ryan Leonard guy. I love him so much. He's so good. He's my guy. Yeah, I mean, for Pittsburgh, I mean, you get a second, and you need it. It doesn't matter what draft at this point. You just need a second. They have them. I think they have the most picks out of like any team in like the first 2 rounds in like the next few years.
13.
Yeah,
Next 3 years.
yeah. And I know Dubas said it's okay. Now we actually have to start adding guys. So
Yeah, but when you have enough of them, you can flip them for players pretty easily.
and
so.
the Islanders scored again.
Woo!
Tony D.
Oh.
He's been good for him offensively. Also, I forgot to mention this with the Chikrin deal. That helps 3 guys who need deals soon. Noah Dobson, Evan Bouchard.
Bouchard's gonna get paid.
Oh my god, he's going to get like 10 mil. It's going to be hilarious. And Thomas Harley, and maybe Jackson Lacombe, because I think Jackson Lacombe has genuinely been incredible this year. Evan Bouchard might legitimately get 11, and I will laugh my ass off at that. Dobson, I really don't know how much he's going to get. There is a chance he gets traded. I wouldn't do it because he's like one of the only draft picks you've hit on recently.
Yeah, down year after last. If he had last year's stats this year, dude, he'd get paid so much.
And Thomas Harley's been incredible. He's been, oh my god, he's been insane.
Yeah,
His rise this year has been great. By the way,
25-year-old, 6'4" right-handed defenseman. Yeah, if the Islanders trade Dobson, I think that's stupid. But
yeah, so do I. I agree. By the way, 4-2 New Jersey, Dawson Mercer. Luke Hughes has 3 assists.
Never mind. Don't get excited.
Moving on. Kuzmenko, 50% retained, and a 25-7th to LA for a 27-3rd. I really don't know the stats on Kuzmenko right now.
So essentially, they got what? Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost for a 3rd. Peltier.
And I think a 2nd.
Yikes.
It's not great.
No, I don't think Farabee's done too good. there.
Don't show what a nickname would be for the Kings top line.
Joel Farabee 5-19, Morgan Frost 7-20. So they haven't been great.
Don't think of a nickname for the Kings top line. All I'm
The
gonna say.
AAA line?
Oh yeah.
Andre,
didn't
Anze,
realize-
and Adrian.
I didn't realize you could do that. Shit.
Yeah. See, you're racist. I was thinking of AAA.
But I mean, Kuzmenko 4 points in 10 games, pretty solid. He's a personality.
Yeah.
5 big booms.
I still don't understand why they wanted Kuzmenko back in that trade, but
All I'm gonna give that trade is 5 big booms.
no, Byfield gets the big booms.
But yeah, he's been. Yeah, I mean, I was very disappointed by the Kings deadline. I'm sorry, but trade your first, dude. You don't need to be like that. Come on, go all in.
Trade your first or trade one of your
If you
young
look
kids.
this good, go all in. Beat the Oilers this time.
Yeah, that's not happening.
They could, because with that goaltending. And then your favorite trade.
I actually don't hate this trade.
Ooh.
Cousins, Gilbert, and a 2nd and 26. Oh, so it's next year, not this year.
Yeah.
For
I
Josh
forgot
Norris
it was
and the
25.
GOAT, Jacob Bernard Docker.
I know he scored last night. I saw it in the
He
group
did,
chat.
dude. I think he's got 3 points in 3 games.
He's more of a defensive defenseman. I wouldn't have minded him in Dallas because he's a right shot.
That's why he's played actually really good. So I'm ecstatic with him.
Playing with
Josh Norris, I think he's got an abdominal injury right now. He had 2 and 3. He looked really good in 2 of those games. One of them we got shelled, so it's not really his fault. But 2 of those games for sure, he looked good. I know Cousins has fit in well with Ottawa, so I don't know. This is a trade that I think both fan bases will be happy with.
I saw part of his interview, and he really wants to stay in Buffalo. It seems like he really wants to stay in Buffalo.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where he stopped playing as good as he was.
He's got 8 points in 9 games.
Well, I mean, yeah, but with the Sabres
now. No, I know.
And he wasn't being the player he was, I don't want to say supposed to be, but that he was capable of being. So they had to do something to shake up the core, and he was unfortunately the odd guy out. But
Norris isn't bad. He's very injury prone, but at his best, he can be. I mean, we've seen it. He can be a 35-goal guy.
Yeah, if Norris is healthy, like he had 35 and 66, you put him with Thompson and he's healthy for a whole year, you're definitely looking at 30 for sure, maybe 40. He PKs, his face-off percentage is above 55, so he's easily already the Sabres' best center. I'm perfectly fine.
Natural center.
Well, yeah, natural center. But I'm perfectly fine with it. Bernard Docker gives us.
It's better than all those Peterka rumors.
Yeah, so. I think kind of crazy that people were saying Peterka for. I think it was Lafreniere at one point.
I was like, okay, buddy. But I mean, with Peterka's going to get a new deal. Like a lot of people were saying that it was also kind of a cap move. Like, is it really? Apparently, it was like the first time on deadline day where 2 guys making $7+ mil were traded for each other. So,
which is kind of cool, but
it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
I mean, Dennis Gilbert, depth defenseman.
Yeah, Gilbert. I guess if Ottawa makes the playoffs, but if still because they haven't clinched, he can come in and sometimes against bigger teams. Yeah. But
I know there's news about their LeBreton Flats stuff that it's going to be a while before they move back to LeBreton Flats. So, I mean, Bernard Docker again, young defensive defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. I mean, listen, has second. He's probably just going to be a second pairing guy. First,
I've watched 3 games of him, and he's been infinitely better than Yoki Haru was this year. So I'm already happy.
Yeah. Moving on. Brendan Tanev for a 27-second. I'm very kind. First off, I'm happy Winnipeg didn't do much.
Winnipeg, their 2 trades were a second
and Shen.
A second for Tanev and a second and a fourth for Shen.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Again, with this team, if their guys just showed up in the playoffs, they don't really need to add a ton. So I get it. But also, like,
look at what happened in your division.
Every year, it's the same thing.
I'm not even going to say that. Look what your division did.
I mean, yeah, but there wasn't really much they could do. When you
it was a seller's market. I will also say that.
When you look at the guys who were traded, they couldn't get a Ranson, and they couldn't get even like Nelson and that. They really couldn't afford.
Nah, they could have gotten Nelson. They definitely could have.
Maybe, but
I think if it was like a Jaeger, like a Lambert.
Yeah, would you want to do that though?
No.
That team,
Jaeger and Richie are pretty close.
I know, but if you lose Ehlers, you could bring up Lambert.
Which I'm expecting
next year.
I'm expecting them to lose Ehlers. Guy can be like a 70-point guy and he gets like third line ice time. So
yeah, that's fair.
Speaking on Winnipeg,
come up.
Yeah, speaking about Winnipeg, they just lost Velarde for the rest of the year, including playoffs.
Yeah, that's a huge loss.
That kind of makes sitting on your hands at the deadline look a lot worse.
Yeah, trades or injuries happen though. It's impossible to predict.
Yeah. So and Velarde's had a really great year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, having Iafallo on the first line does not help, but they're gonna have home ice in the playoffs. So we'll see. And that place usually rocks.
All that matters is if Hellebuyck shows up or not.
If they sell, exactly. That place is gonna be rocking if they sell tickets. So if people go to their games, because I know they have like one of the lowest attendances in the game in the league. So, which is still crazy. Moving on. One of the other big trades, and this one's backfired for the team that bought, which is funny. You know what's coming. You know which one's coming, I'm assuming. Nikita Grubenkin and a conditional 27 first for 50% of Scott Lawton's contract. Well, and Scott Lawton, obviously. A 25 fourth and a 27 sixth. The condition that is top 10 protected.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Lawton, 0 points.
Yeah, he has not looked great in a Toronto jersey.
And by the way, they won 7-2 last night against Philly.
And he didn't do much. I don't know. He has term, so I guess that's partly why it's the first. But it's just like, man, everyone's been saying this. He's not good. He's an okay third liner that is decent.
I know. I've talked to some Leafs fans. They did not want him.
No one did. I don't know any fan base that genuinely actually wanted to trade for him, but GMs see what he does and they get super horny for it. And
win, draw, hits.
Yeah.
Cool, but that's not something I trade a first for.
Nope. But they did, so live with it.
Philly fans love him. I mean, hey, got you, forecheck, back check, paycheck. So
he's looked good in the AHL. I guess they're bringing him up.
Yeah, no. I don't know if they called him up, but look, I'll say this about Grubenkin, Hathaway 2.0.
He pretty much is, with more skill. I'd trust him more in breakaway.
Yeah, he's basically that. Which, hey, look, that's an NHLer. That is not bad.
No.
Getting a first in an NHLer for Lawton is
pretty good business.
Slam dunk.
Especially since a few years ago it was rumored that it'd be Lawton to Ottawa for Matthew Joseph and Tyler Boucher.
I know.
I'd say this package is a lot better.
I would say so.
With how bad Tyler Boucher looks. Vancouver scored. Who was it? Number 54, is that Atu Rachu?
Could be
That
Ratty.
might be Ratty.
It is, yeah.
Ratu, yeah. I don't know why I thought he was wearing 53.
Oh, shout out to Zekas, 2 points.
Yeah, good
2
for
points
him.
tonight.
Moving on. Here's the big one.
What?
The
Dennis
big one
Cholowski for Adam Beckman?
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Nope. To Dallas, Mikko Rantanen. To Carolina, Logan Stankoven, conditional 26 first, conditional 28 first. We didn't trade a 27 first in this while. 26 third and 27 third. First off, I thought it was a 27 first move in this while. I didn't know we had to pick in 27.
Oh, wait, it was two first, 2 thirds, and Stankoven?
Yeah.
Fuck me, man.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought we moved to 27 first instead of 28. I guess we do have pick in 27. That's nice.
I will say this.
That's nice.
Before you talk about it, because obviously it's your team. Losing Rantanen sucks, obviously. The two teams that have lost Rantanen this year have somehow gotten very, very good returns for him. Natchez has been money in Colorado.
If I had to guess, he's going to get extended this offseason, and it's going to be a lot.
Absolutely. He has fit in with McKinnon so well.
They're the fastest team in the league.
Drury has looked serviceable, and I think they flipped the second they got for one of the players they ended up getting.
I forget. I think it was probably Coyle, if I had to guess.
I was going to say, I think it was Coyle, because there is a 2025 second in that trade.
I'll say this. Look, I love Logan Stankoven. I'm still going to root for the guy. Love how he plays. He plays like a Carolina Hurricane. You cannot deny that.
Yeah.
He's feisty.
Plays like a Jarvis.
Exactly. He plays a lot like Seth Jarvis. He's very feisty, very skilled. He has a great shot. He has a problem where he shoots in the chest a lot. Like he shoots in the logo, which his shooting percentage is so low, probably a lot because of that. He's also got very unlucky during the year. Love Stankoven, but it's Mikko fucking Rantanen. Like, it's a top 20 player in the league.
Yeah.
It's taking time to fit in, and we say that, and he's got 5 points in 6 games.
Yeah, it is. When you get a player that good, I think the fans expect more.
But
so much so fast.
The thing with Rantanen this year, a lot of the mental stuff, like the shock from getting traded from Colorado, and then coming here, and then essentially 9 years of your career, you've been in the same spot, you've had the same coach. and pretty much been on this had same line mates. It's gonna take time.
Mhm.
I'll give an example. When Pavelski got here first year, he didn't look great, and then in the bubble, and then eventually the rest of the years, he was awesome. So I kind of learned, and he looked. By the way, Rantanen looked great against Minnesota. So I don't know if we're going to see the best of Rantanen until next season. Once he gets a full training camp, once he gets chemistry with the guys, so I'm not going to take it too much into stock right now. Obviously, this limits Dallas in terms of young guys. Like right now, our best prospect is Liam Bixel's going to be up the rest of the year, if I had to guess. Right now, our best prospect's Ayrton Martin. Actually, no, it's Emil Hemming. I'm fucking stupid. Which he hasn't looked great, but is his first year on NA Ice. I'm not going to judge it too much. I mean, we signed Ayrton Martino, who is top 10 in Hobie Baker, by the way. He's not going to get it. So you have to now dig into the depths. Kingston signed a guy like Jack Hughes. They're Jack Hughes. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on him. Would max out as probably a third liner, 2A guy. Matthew Mania's out there. But with Rantanen, at least, you want to see him return to the heights. He's looked a lot better in Dallas than he ever did as a Hurricane, which, I mean, that was like a month. So, but he's going to be really good. I really wonder what he looks like, especially come playoff time. I don't know what the lines are looking like tonight, but he was good last game. Yeah, it's Marchment hints Rantanen. I'm very interested to see what that looks like. But he's looked good. He's had like one terrible game, but at the same time, that terrible game, pretty much everyone looked like shit. So, yeah, it's interesting. And forgot to say the extension 8 years, 12 mil. So,
yeah, that's the only thing that makes this really interesting to me is his first couple games away from McKinnon and Makar did not look great. Analytics took a nosedive. And then in Dallas,
he's looked really good. He's in the worst finishing stretch of his career.
So it's going to be interesting to see, is he the top 20 player even without a top 2 player next to him, or is he more of a top 30 player? And then is he worth the 12?
I want to also mention this.
He doesn't need to be the guy in Dallas, which is going to be huge.
That is going to be huge, but I mean, he didn't have to be the guy in Colorado either. He did have to be on Carolina.
He had to be in Carolina. He came in and immediately was their best guy.
So it'll be interesting to see, but you are correct. He doesn't have to. He'll definitely have more than enough help when you look at Wyatt Johnston and
Rope Hintz, Jason Roberts,
all those guys. Yeah,
Thomas Harley once Heiskanen comes back.
Everybody.
Yeah, we're even throwing defensemen in there. Go Ilya Lyubushkin. But
he's been good.
Yeah, Harley Bick, dude. He's got so much support and help.
Oh yeah, he just has to be good enough. And to your point, Zach, this team is young and they're pretty well built already, especially if Sagan goes on IR. Cap shouldn't be much of an issue.
He's coming back. Is
he coming back? Because I heard somebody say
he's skating. He's skating.
So
and he's coming with the team on the road trip.
But the team is still young, so like you really don't have to worry about having a ton of prospects because you're not really going to be.
The only thing you have to worry about is cap space with how much it's going up. Like,
yeah, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, especially with Robertson needing a new contract soon, Harley needing a new contract soon. By the way, I forgot to say they extended Wyatt Johnston 5 years, 8.4, which I know that walks him right to free agency.
Sometimes you got to do it.
I expect him to be the captain at some point. I think it's kind of already determined. He's going to be the future captain of this team. So I think that's kind of already there, especially since he's already wearing an A. And B, it's again Mikko Rantanen, dude. Like, how often does a player like that really come available, whether it's free agency or trade? Closest one would be
Pedersen. Closest
one would be potentially this offseason and Mitch Marner.
Well, Mitch Marner won't be traded. That'll be a free agent.
Yeah, but again,
the only trade I can think of, the farthest back would be Jack Eichel and Kachuk.
Yeah.
The only other one floating around there right now, I guess you would say, is Pedersen. But again, with how he's playing, I don't even know if you can put him in that echelon of how good Rantanen was.
Yeah. So it'll be
Listen,
interesting. It's
it
easier
makes
to
total sense to get him, just
Yeah.
like it made total sense for Carolina to get him.
all in.
I have to give Carolina credit though. Unlike with Gensel, they saw that there was a
Yeah.
future where he might not be there, and they didn't make the same mistake. And somehow they walked out of this. Like next year now, sure you're down Natchez and sure you're down your second, but now you have Stankoven and 2 firsts.
And they still have really good. They still have a great prospect pool.
Yeah, you
Yep.
could really go out
Artemonov. They
and-
still have Artemonov, Nadeau,
Yeah.
Moro,
Nikishin.
Nikishin's coming over.
Yeah.
By the way,
well, we just
it's
talked
already
about
set,
Pedersen.
so-
You have the perfect prospect pool, the perfect amount of stuff. If you wanted to
I've
make a
thought
splash,
this for a while. I do think they're gonna use those picks, the Dallas picks, to okay. Let me go off pace for a bit. The Raquel price was an NHL ready guy, 2 firsts. They could potentially use the 2 firsts they got from Dallas, and let's say Nadeau or like an Artemonov for Raquel.
yeah, I think they'd want to go a bit bigger than that.
Raquel's got 30 goals this year. He's got like 70 points.
I know, but he's what 30.
From what I've heard, they're also. I mean, they're going to go big fish hunting in free agency. I think
Yeah,
a
they
guy
already
like
said-
Brock. Yeah, I think a guy like Brock Besser makes a lot of sense. I think a guy like Mitch
Well, and they
Marner
already
makes a
said
lot
they're
of
going to
sense.
target Marner.
So, oh yeah, let's speak on that for a second. The Mikko Rantanen to Toronto one, that rumor
Oh yeah, it was ranting into Toronto for Marner. I think it was
with
just
an
1
8
for
year,
1.
13
Yeah.
million extension. I saw the Marner one. I think I saw the package of like Cowan, Minton, like that kind of thing. The Dallas package
yeah.
is better.
Yeah, Carolina didn't want Cowan and Minton. They wanted
Yeah,
Marner.
because they're not going to be in the NHL. Well, Minton would, but yeah, because they're not going to be in the NHL. Again, I think Carolina did really well. But for Dallas, it's Mikko Rantanen. It's a superstar player. That's really all I got to say about it at this point. It's kind of just repeating at that point. So, yeah, I think both teams did well. I'm not going to shit on Carolina, even though they've been shitting on Mikko ever since he left, which, I mean, fair.
That's what teams do.
Yeah. Moving on. Up, and Vancouver scored again. Was it Derek fucking Forbert?
Get excited.
It was. Oh my god. Luke Cunnin to Columbus for a 25 fourth. Bottom sixer. Moving on. Here's another big one. Charlie Coyle and a 26 fifth to the Avs for Middlestat, William Zellers, and a 25 second. Middlestat's fit in really well in Boston.
Yeah, he fell out of favor there in Colorado pretty fast here. I like this trade in combination with the Nelson trade.
Yeah.
Because now your 1, 2, 3 is McKinnon, Nelson,
Yeah.
and Coyle gives you some big bodies, gives you some actual depth.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Jacob,
And it gets, honestly, if Middlestat wasn't working there, it gets his contract out of there. So I think
you know more about Zellers, can you? Not you. Golopoli.
I don't know anything about Zellers.
What do you know about Zellers? Because I don't know too much.
I like Zellers. He's a bit of a smaller guy. Good skating. Pretty good with the puck. He could end up being a middle six guy. He's got to get some more meat on him, but immediately becomes one of Boston's better prospects, I'd say. He was a depth pick for Colorado, or a depth round pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he could honestly, on a team like Boston, he becomes one of their better guys, and honestly, that could really boost his probability of becoming an NHLer.
For sure, especially if Boston's going to start entering a rebuild.
Right,
Third round pick last year by Colorado. He's a pretty good speed.
Yeah, I've heard he's
decent with the puck.
Awesome skater.
He's in the USHL right now, not putting up like groundbreaking numbers, but he's committed to the University of North Dakota next year. So
that's good. That'd be good for him.
Be interesting to follow him, see what
with
he does.
Like
but
guys like EJ Emery. Yeah.
Boston's prospect pool is so dire that adding anybody at this point is just probably puts them in the top 5.
And now that they have a lot of picks, like, so that helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Although with Don Sweeney at the helm.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Maybe they'll take Dean Letourneau again.
Moving on. Just bang these out. Valeno to Chicago from Rashik and Smith. Valeno's
Honestly, I like that. I think Valeno, with the change of scenery, could be. I mean, he's still going to be a bottom sixer, but I think he'll be
Yeah.
a lot more
Effective.
useful. Yeah, and
I like it
effective.
for Chicago because by getting Knight, it made Mrazek irrelevant. So
And you play Arvid more.
yeah, and you got a young player for him, so I think smart trade.
Next one, to Pittsburgh, Chase Stillman, Max Graham, a 27 third, to New Jersey, Glass and Gruden. Glasses looks really good.
What did Pittsburgh give up to get Cody Glass?
We received a second to take him on.
So again, with teams being smart, Pittsburgh saw Cody Glass. They got a second to take him, and now they flipped him for. I know Chase Stillman's not great, but he was at one point
a former first. He was a former first,
and they got a third for him. Again, just second and a third, and a prospect for a guy who was a fourth liner in Nashville. It just
all of that
asset management.
We moved one of our depth AHL guys to get Cody Glass.
Yeah. It was Jonathan Gruden who's been there for ages.
No, we moved Froska.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got
Gruden
and
got moved after.
New Jersey got Gruden.
And then Glass 6 points in 8 games with New Jersey.
Yeah.
He's looked
Glass
really good apparently,
decent.
which is funny.
I'm happy for him.
I am,
absolutely.
He's a guy a lot of people like rooting for. I like Cody Glass. Seems like a great guy.
Yeah,
I liked Cody Glass for a while. I liked him during his draft year too. It kind of sucks that he hasn't really reached the highs, but he's an NHLer. He is.
Yeah, exactly. I really enjoyed him. I enjoyed him a lot in Pittsburgh, but if he's got that kind of value, you can't not move him.
Yeah, and Chase Stillman can be an NHLer. I mean, probably bottom 6 guy.
Right.
It just gives Pittsburgh another guy to have for their rebuild, so it's smart.
Moving on to one of two Boston another big move from Boston. Oh my God, I can't speak.
Big move.
Whatever. A conditional 27-second to Boston. The pick becomes a 27 or 28 first if Boston wins 2 rounds and Marchand plays 50% of the team's playoff
games.
Mean
if Florida wins 2 rounds, not Boston?
Yes. And apparently Marchand might be coming back Friday. And Marchand's 50% retained. And to Florida, Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't hate it as much as a lot of people gave so much shit for it. I don't really hate it. If it's a first,
I agree.
For what, a 36-year-old
giving shit for it. This is just
for a 36, 37-year-old. And honestly, I could see Marchand just going back to Boston in the offseason.
Exactly. The thing is, people don't get is that he, like you said, Jacob, he's that old. He's almost guaranteed to not sign there. He'll go anywhere else probably. And he's not going to join the team until really late in the season. So to build that chemistry is another risk that they might also run. So for all of that, that drops his trade value by a lot. So I don't understand why people were really pissed off about it.
I also forgot to say this.
Yeah.
Apparently, they were pretty far apart in contract negotiations. He wants to be paid with Boston for future stuff and past stuff, and past stuff. And Boston wants to pay him for okay, you're old.
I mean,
and so they did that. They had a feud with the trade. It was we're not going to trade you here. They eventually caved. Marchand gave them a location he wanted to go to. They traded him there, which that's good on them. The relationship apparently doesn't seem great. So I don't know.
90% of players who leave Boston don't have a great relationship with the management and ownership.
Yeah, which is an issue.
But I don't see him signing in Florida, which kind of makes
I don't either. But but yeah, I mean, he'll be good for their playoffs. And imagine a line with Tkachuk's healthy. If Tkachuk, Bennett, and Marchand. A lot of people have said that is probably the most annoying line in hockey.
Oh, absolutely. One interesting thing is this: he will be 37 this offseason. Mm-hmm. Honestly, if he wins a cup with Florida, he might just hang it up.
Yeah, he could. I didn't think of that. I don't think they're going back to back though. 2 cup finals in 2 years. But
it's also tough too because he did just play for the 4 Nations and the Olympics are next year. But honestly, I don't know if it's a hot take or not. He probably shouldn't have been on the 4 Nations team, and he should definitely not be on the Olympic team.
Who knows? So, he'll be on there because heart and soul guy.
Great.
Moving on to the other big Boston move. This one was kind of unexpected. His name was out there. I didn't expect him to be moved to the offseason. Fraser Minton, a conditional 26 first and a 25 fourth. Bruins retained 15% of Carlos' salary. I believe that puts it down like 3 point something. I don't know the exact number. And that 26 first is top 5 protected, which Toronto's not going to be bad. So it's essentially just a 26 first. And a 25 fourth for Brendan Carlo. Carlo is kind of what they need.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, tough defensive defenseman. It's really all I can say, right?
Just love trading to the rivals.
He's played.
He's
playing with. Apparently, he's playing with Riley, and Riley has looked great next to him. So
I don't know. I haven't watched any Leaf games or heard much about him, but
yeah, I mean, it's really all I can say about it. And he's battle tested. He's been in the playoffs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So depends who they match up against. It's interesting. Moving on. I do not need to talk about the Shea Weber move. Although it's interesting that Victor Soderstrom's going to be back in the NHL next year, probably. Moving on. Henry Jokiharju to Boston for a 26 fourth. Depth defenseman. Ooh.
That's a trade.
Yep.
Here's the weird one that a lot of people don't get. I still don't really get it. And this is just the last one we'll probably talk about here. Let's be real. Fabian Zetterlund, Tristan Robbins, and a 25 fourth to Ottawa for Noah Gregor, Zach Ostapchuk, who got caught up a few days ago, I think, and a 25 second. Zetterlund's good. He's pretty good. I thought, again, I think he'd be a guy you'd want to keep in a rebuild.
Yeah, I don't know. They got San Jose has so many players that I just feel like they didn't get a ton of like the best value for him.
Exactly. And Noah Gregor been there before. Zach Ostapchuk, probably a third liner in the NHL.
Yeah, Gregor's kind of whatever. He's just a throw in. It's basically a Ostapchuk and a second for Zetterlund. So
Zetterlund's good. He's playing on the top line with Stützle and Brady.
Yeah, I don't really get selling low on him, but I can understand moving him when you have a ton of guys coming.
Yeah.
Yep. They have a ton of guys coming.
Yeah, it's not like necessary to keep him.
Apparently the dark days of San Jose like really got to him. He didn't really think it'd get too better.
Listen, as a fan of a team that has not made the playoffs for now going to be 14 years, it is surprisingly fast how quick guys sour on being there. So if San Jose was bad for a couple of years and a couple of guys who were there, it's so easy to just tune it out and stop not wanting to be there. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So if they went to him and said something, he probably said, like, I don't see my future.
And apparently they weren't close on contracts.
Yeah.
So. I guess Eric Branstrom for Nick Aubé-Kubel. Cool.
I think there's one.
Mark Jankowski.
Yeah, he's been really good for Carolina.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Dude's just scoring.
Janko. Oh, yeah, and the Connor Dewar and Connor Timmins.
Yeah.
I wish we never made that trade.
It's really
man,
funny.
Kyle Dubas loves Sioux Greyhounds. I'm going to keep mentioning that. Yeah. Connor Dewar has 3 goals?
They have both single-handedly won us games.
Yeah,
I'm getting really pissed off about.
Dewar had 3 points in 31 games with the Leafs, no goals, and he has 3 goals and an assist with the Penguins in 8 games.
Yeah, he does. And Timmins has got one too, bro. And they've both been game winners, and we need to lose.
I know the Timmins one was a game winner, which was hilarious.
Oh my dude,
shout out Yona Kupanen, by the way, and Boko Imama.
Oh my god, stop. No.
Oh, didn't Boko Imama score too?
Yeah,
I can't do that right now.
Shout out Boko. Former Lightning pick.
Oh my god. What do we have to do to lose? I just don't get it. We just
Timmins also has 4 points in 8 games after having 8 and 51.
Apparently he's still not great because he's still a turnover machine. But
wait, who?
Timmins.
Yeah, I mean he is. It would be nice if he turned it over a little bit more instead of scoring. But let's
I
just be
love
good.
the bump some guys get at the trade deadline because you see those two, and then you see Yankowski, who had 9 points in 41 games.
Lawrence Timmons is on a pairing with Eric Carlson, by the
He's
way.
got 6 goals in 8 games with Carolina. The trade
And
deadline.
Unbelievable, man.
Connor Dewar's on the third line with Lazard and Achari.
Yep. They look really good.
This is it. We're a team. Oh, someone's wearing a Chushkin jersey at the Stars game. Great, fuck you. Yeah, I mean, there were other moves. Other very
course.
minor one. Dennis Chalowski for Adam Beckman. I think Chalowski actually got caught up. Daniel Sprong for a 7th
to New Jersey, right?
Yeah, I mean,
he is just the weirdest player.
Look, I'm just saying, if you're hopping from team to team that much, I think there's attitude issues there.
You actually might be the issue. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's been reported like locker room. Yeah.
I hate to speculate on stuff like that because we're not there, but like there has to be something. That guy cannot stick on a team at all. Even teams that have taken him back move on. Seattle took him back and they traded him.
Yeah.
So like there's got to be something.
And then, like, I guess we'll end on Eric Johnson for Giovanni Smith. I actually thought it was for future considerations. Wow. I say it again. Good on Briere.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you can't hate it. Like, even if you're a Philly fan, are you really upset that you moved Eric Johnson?
You weren't going to get much, dude. Yeah, and, Torts is getting fired at the end of the year, so. Good for Philly. You got a young, big body. That's really it. That's really it. See how much these affect the playoffs come April, come like mid-April, actually, come a month, actually.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they affect who makes it. Because if you look at...
Because Minnesota's like 2 points, only 2 points out of St. Louis.
If you look at the standings, and this is not the ones I wanted.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how a lot of these affected. Feels like, I mean, again, big sellers market this year, so it's really it.
Like the Islanders sold, Rangers added. Columbus didn't really do anything. Let's be real. Montreal could have sold, and they didn't. So there's going to be a couple teams here that are like, could you have done more? Could you have done less? Detroit is 3 points out. They really didn't do anything. In the West, the Blues didn't do much. If they end up missing out, will they be upset? No. I guess keeping Shen was their big move.
They won't be upset. They were. I
think Flames fans are going to be. I don't even know, man. If they miss, I guess they're still happy.
Yeah, because Dustin Wolf looks like God.
But they're also not.
They're the worst. Dude, they're the worst offensive team in the league.
Like, because the conditions on
this it is painful to watch the Calgary Flames play offensive hockey.
Oh yeah, they have 186 goals for. It's sad.
But yeah, that's really it. See how everything takes shape in the standings. Jacob, you guys got anything else?
I think I'm all set.
No, I'm good.
Word.
All right.
Well, thank you everyone for watching, and we're excited for these playoffs and all these new guys, new faces, new places, and we will see you guys in the next one.